Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings, with me, Gretta Chamberlain, and the Realm of Beings. Shifting Impressions, which is one of the vehicles that supports the transmission of the Realm of Beings, is here to assist you in delving into your being by providing numerous topics and discussions for you to intake as you deepen your connection with your inner world. Shifting Impressions is here to assist you in strengthening yourself as you excavate to understand your true nature. Join us today and learn to shift your mindset, shift your thoughts, and shift your focus to recreate your life and produce a new you. Shifting Impressions starts now.
Good morning and welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. I'm Carol and I'm here with my co-hosts Gretta and Kathleen and of course the Realm of Beings. I hope everyone enjoyed their 4th of July holiday. This month of July we will be dealing with the internal world of each of us. We at Shifting Impressions are very happy to be here on Transformation Network every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Listeners, if you're new to the podcast, thank you for joining us and being part of this experience. These conversations will help you to look at your life and your creation of reality, to see where you're creating, how it shows up, and how to help you gain perspective so you learn how to shift what you are creating in order to create what you want. So welcome everyone. To new listeners and viewers to the podcast, each week Gretta shares with us a quote given to her from the Realm of Beings, which we will discuss first with each other, and later in the show the Realm will join us to expand and expound on their quote. This week the quote that they have provided to us is, "The challenges and the solutions to your issues are both internal. They are never external. So reach inside yourself with comfort and ease to ameliorate the unwanted conditions." That's a mouthful. And I think this is really all about what we're trying to teach in the first place of creation of reality, that everything we create or everything that happens to us, we're creating. Everything is internal, not external. And I'm going to bring up something I learned from Gretta that was a misconception I had for many years until I met Gretta. I used to use an expression I heard from some metaphysical class somewhere in my distant past that used to say, the universe will provide you whatever you need. It may not be what you want, but it's always what you need. And in my mind, that expression, I thought the universe was out there somewhere, something external. And it wasn't until I met Gretta and learned about creation of reality that I realized the universe is here. I'm the universe. So nothing is external. And if we can remember that always, that nothing has to be a challenge because we already have all our answers inside of us, I think we'd all be a lot happier. What do you think, Kathy?
Well, what do I think? I've been doing a lot of thinking about that. As a matter of fact, I wrote quite a few questions, about the topic. I think part of some of the challenges that people encounter is, how do you tap into that knowingness, that inner core beingness of yourself in such a way that you can benefit from it. Like, what did it say? What is an inner voice? Where is it? How do you reach it? What is an inner being? Is it your unconscious? I mean, that holds everything. What's going on? And so I had a whole lot of questions. I didn't number them, but that's kind of pretty much where I kind of left off. And I just wanted to know, is the inner being another being? It's like, because like you said, everybody says the universe is out there. It's the universe, and you are the universe. And yet we told the people all last month there are more than one universe out there. So which universe is our universe? So for me, when I say inner, I think of it more that I am, because I am one with everything. I am the universe, and I am all of the
All of
universes,
them, right?
everything that exists within them. But I am a separate little personality, or a break. I don't want to say separate, a little tiny, little break off, with the personality. And I think that's the part that creates some challenges. Okay, I'm done for a minute.
Well, from your first questions, Kathy, my answer would be, well, that's why I talk to Greta because she answers those things for us.
Okay, because I keep looking for an inner being. Where are you? Hello.
My inner being is in Greta.
And how do I know it's my inner being if it answers me back?
Mm-hmm.
See that? I see what I'm talking about. See.
Come on, Greta. Let's hear it.
This is so funny. Tapping into it, part of that tapping to your inner being is going to be your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel? Like sometimes, I remember when I was a little girl and my mother met a friend. We were walking down the street. I might have been about 8 years old. And my mother was so happy to see this lady, But when the woman walked off, I told my mother, I said, I don't like that lady. I have never met that woman in my life, but I told my mother, I don't like that lady. My mother told me, she said, Greta, how can you say that about the woman and you've never met her? This is the first time you've seen her. Well, of course, I didn't know how that happened, but I just knew I did not like her. And I knew certain things, like one day my mother was a gentleman friend of hers came over and said he came over with his motorcycle. So my mother was going for a ride on his motorcycle.
Okay.
I know. I just envisioned that.
Yeah. I mean, of course, she was young. I was little. But I told my mother, I said, I don't think it's a good idea for you to get on that bike. I remember I told her, I said, Mama, please don't go. Please don't go there. Greta, I'm going to be fine. Just because we were at my great-grandfather and great-grandmother's house. That's where we lived. And they said, Greta, don't worry about that. Let your mother go on and have fun. I said, Mama, I don't think you should go. So what happens? My mother gets back and she tells me, she said, you know what, Greta, you were right. I should have stayed home because they had an accident. It was just that my mother wasn't hurt seriously, but they were involved in an accident. So that's that inner being.
Right.
And see, we all have it from when we're born with it. It's not that all of a sudden you're going to get it. You're born with it. Everybody has connection to their inner self. But now what the choice is, are you going to listen to it or not?
Mm.
See, that's the thing. Are you going to listen to it? Or you might even define it as your gut. In my gut, I don't think I should do this. So that's kind of what I have to say about it. Let me see that quote. It said issues are both internal. The solutions, the challenges, and the solutions. Yeah. And see, challenges, people, what this quote does is saying, it's giving you credence to stop the suggestion, because the realm can't tell us what to do. Nobody can tell us what to do, because they honor our ability to create our own reality. Mm-hmm. However, they give suggestions. So this is a suggestion to look at and to realize that your challenges are inside of you. How do you create those challenges? You create those challenges by way of thought. And then you create the emotion that propels the thought into actuality. You see. So the challenge is inside, and so is the solution, you know. So what it does is it's really great when all of us can get to that point that we realize it, because it eliminates you blaming somebody else for what you create. It eliminates blame, you know. And what is blame? Blame is a judgment call. Now, Kathy, is, you know, that was a good question. Where is the inner self? The inner self is all over you. The inner self is all over you. You are, because you're one with it. You're one with the force. You're one, and one of the aspects of the force itself is the unconscious. See, we all think that, okay, Carol, you got your unconscious, Gretta's got hers, Kathy's got hers. There's only one unconscious, and we all share it. I don't care what universe we're in. We could be in universe number 375, and somebody else is in universe number 1,296. But we're all sharing the same unconscious. And that unconscious is what assists you in creating your realities. So that's why I'm saying that it's all over us. It's not something that's out here. Like people say, the universe, you know, the universe. Or, you know, that Black comedian, oh God, I can't remember his name. He used to always say the devil, you know, in his skits.
Oh, Red Fox.
No, that's Flip Wilson. That's Flip Wilson.
Flip Wilson, that's right, because he used to always say in his skits, the devil made me do it. So there are people that really believe in this concept.
Right.
You know, that there's the devil out there, you know, and there really isn't. To the audience, there is no devil out there. If you're having a negative experience in your life, that's because you created it. Mm-hmm. Nobody created it for you. You did it. You know, see, I saw Kathy look over. So to say,
no, my Sarabi, my cat is meowing, and so my instinct, my inner self said to go look in that direction to see why is she bothering me at this particular point in time. But I guess for a lot of people, there are just so many different people telling you different things about how to tap into this inner being. And okay, so it's everywhere, but how do you know that you've connected to it? It's like you said to your mother, don't go on that. I've done that too. And people say, there she goes again with that mess. And then they go, just like you, I should have listened to you. Why do you say that after the fact? And then, because it's your inner voice, it's not their inner voice. Or right. they're not listening to their inner voice. And why is my voice saying something? Why is it, if we're all one, why is it their inner voice saying, you know what, her inner voice is right? I shouldn't do that.
Because they want to experience something different. They don't want, see, everybody's got their own lessons as well, you see. And my lessons are different from yours and Carol's. There might be some similarities, but they're different because I chose another path. So that's why, and Carol said it, I think it was you talked about the personality. Who said something about the personality? It was you, Kathy, wasn't it? Right. Personality. See, we're all the force. But the thing is, you got somebody that, I wish I had never met that person. Or that person is horrible. You go into that judgment. You go into that judgment call. But what we don't realize is that that person is really one with us, and we're one with the exact person that we're saying is a terrible person, you see. But we say that because we look outside.
Right.
We look outside. See the mechanisms for us, and we're not going to go into neurons and all that. I'm going to leave that to other people to deal with the science behind how thought works. But it's that we have a thought and we put an emotion behind it. Where does the thought come from? The thought comes from internally. Some people might say the thought comes from my brain, but even if it's coming from your brain, it's still internal. And when you get ready to solve something, what do? You sit down and you start to think, how am I going to deal with this issue? How am I going to deal with it? What do I have to do to get things going? So that's your thinking. You're thinking. You're going inside. When you're thinking, you're going inside yourself. That's what thinking is. It's internal. But we just take it, okay, we're thinking.
Well, how do we know when it's talking to us? Are there physical signs? Because I know we have to pay attention to our bodies. They say pay attention to what your body is telling you. But I think of paying attention to your body tells you where your unconscious mind is. But is that your inner being, or like what is? You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, it's
a whole mechanism. See, there are networks. You have networks inside of your body that those networks all work together. Inside your body, the cells and all your organs, they communicate with each other. They don't work separate. Everybody knows what everybody is doing. Your liver cell knows, one liver cell will know how the other liver cells are doing. But at the same token, it's going to communicate, how's my prostate? How's the prostate doing? If the prostate ain't doing very well, the liver's going to know it. Just like the cells of your skin. Every cell knows what's going on in that body.
It's like the movie Inside Out. It's a little cartoon movie. I love that movie because have you seen it, Carol? There's part two that's coming out, and I mean, that they have all of these little emotions are running around. I think I'm going to be angry right now. No. Let's keep her calm. Here comes Peaceful, whatever her little name is. All these different little beings are in there controlling this little girl's body, and it's just a very cute movie, but it's a good way of explaining what some people feel sometimes, how to even analyze and look at your inner self, your inner emotions. Because when I become angry, what happens to my body? When I'm happy, what happens to my body? What is my body telling me? What kind of dreams am I creating? Is that part of where I tap into my inner being in my dreams? To me, this just seems like there's really kind of no one answer is what you're saying, because it's a variety. It's like a collage of things.
Absolutely.
Do some people have a stronger inkling? Do some people have a stronger attachment to a certain way of tapping into their inner body?
I think that's possible.
Yeah.
I feel like with me, it's always been intuition. And every time in my life I've challenged my intuition, bad stuff happened. And the problem, I'm serious. I learned lessons this way. The problem with the intuition is you only know it worked when you go against it.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
I play it safe now, and I listen to my intuition, and nothing bad happens, and I'm okay. I'm okay with living that way. So
how do you know it's your intuition? How do you know? And what is your intuition? You say it's your gut, but
it's like a gut feeling.
what's a gut feeling? What's a gut feeling? I'm the audience. Explain to me what that is.
It's like a knowingness. And I've had this all my life. The way Greta has the realm talking to her all her life, I have had intuition telling me.
I'm sorry.
An ability that I activated, just like the people who were clairvoyant activated that.
Yeah, but some people could say, seldom wrong, but never in doubt. I guess that's how that expression goes. In other words, you're often wrong, never in doubt. I mean, is that the same thing as the intuition where I know that's true? I'm trusting because I'm right about this, and you're wrong about it.
Trust is a good point in there because you have to trust yourself.
Absolutely.
So I think that was a good point to bring up, Kathy, because I've learned, and I say I learned through the school of hard knocks the hard way. I'm still in the process of learning to trust myself and what my intuition tells me I should and should not do. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I don't want to listen to it because it's not what I consciously think I want.
Ah, okay. Now we're getting to the fishing.
Now we're getting to the crux. Yeah. So sometimes I've ignored my intuition because I want something to be true, even though my intuition is telling me it's not true. And Greta knows very much what I'm talking about. So, it's a matter of listening to yourself and trusting yourself. And with me, I used to read energy with people. I don't know if this is a real thing. Like the way you, Greta, said that woman that your mother introduced you to, you said you didn't like her. I usually, if I meet someone, I would always sense, we don't use these terms anymore of good or bad or positive or negative energy. But I guess I would sense if they had high vibrational energy versus low vibrational energy. And again, I think that was just an offshoot of my intuition. And I would try to draw to me the people that I felt had the high vibrational energy. Although I said positive energy. So
then when you know something to be true and yet you create, because we forgot about the creation of reality, we create others to invalidate what we're feeling.
We're
someone said,
them. I don't think we create.
Right. Well, I don't think that person likes me. Oh, no, you're wrong. They like you. And I'm going, I really don't think that person. And then they slap the person, when they slap you in the face, then they go, oh, I guess they didn't like you. But that happens because it depends on who you're with, whether you're married to them or whatever, hanging around, it doesn't matter, but it goes back to when you don't trust your own intuition. But when you want to do what's right, not do what's right, when you just want to go with the flow, sometimes going with the flow may not be your flow. Like someone saying, I don't think the person likes me, and you're going with the flow. Okay, well, maybe they do like me. And it doesn't happen right away, but then they do something else. You go, see, I really don't think that person likes me. And they say, oh, you won't have any friends if you don't go with the flow. In other words, and until it reaches a point where you're laying on the ground and go, oh, I guess you were right.
But didn't you create that in the first place? Because it's create, support, create. So you already created for them to not like you, regardless of what your intuition is telling you. You created.
And therein lies another piece to this whole darn puzzle.
That's what we're here for. That's exactly what we're here for.
Yeah. Because sometimes you don't follow your intuition because maybe going down the right path is turning right, let's say, is going to take you one way and it's going to introduce you into some challenges that are going to make you look at your lesson. Whereas if you turn to the left and you're going down that path, it's going to be, oh, I like this, so you got another experience. So inside of that intuition, we are still choosing. And there's an in-depth, consciously, I don't think we recognize it until we can see it. But
Yeah.
the in-depth are your lessons. Because when we step into this reality, who remembers their lessons? I know I didn't. Don't tell me I came here with lessons. When I first started learning about creation of reality, I said, don't tell me that. Don't tell me I created all this stuff in my life. No.
Exactly.
I didn't even call it stuff. I'm not going to say on the air what I called it. But,
Thank you, Greta. Keep it PG.
You can't, don't tell me. I'm not going to believe that. I'm not going to accept that. It took a while.
Yeah.
Because then
I always felt responsible for my choices before I ever heard the words creation and reality. I did sort of innately have that in me that I did not blame others for bad stuff.
Well, you're lucky, Carol, because I blamed everybody and his mother for mine.
Now go to break, Carol. Go to break. Go to break. We need to go to break.
That's my problem. That's one of my
Show it off. Go to break.
Myself. So, all right. We are listeners. This is always, as usual, getting lively, but we will have to take a short break. And when we return, we get to hear what the realm has to say about this quote. So please stick with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, listeners. Thank you for sticking with us. This is Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. We're at that point in our podcast where the realm will come in and discuss the quote they gave Greta directly to us. So, realm, are you with us?
Of course, Carol. Of course we are.
Welcome you. We welcome you.
Thank you. We are glad to be here. There's Kathleen.
There's Kathleen. She's got questions for you, realm. Just giving you a heads up. The quote this week is the challenges and the solutions to your issues are both internal. They are never external. So reach inside yourself with comfort and ease to ameliorate the unwanted conditions. Take it away, Realm.
Well, Kathy has a question, so Kathy, go ahead, hit us with
let's see. We talked about how do we balance our inner being with our outer being?
That's wonderful. How do you balance your inner being with your outer being? It's not so much about balance. It's not that you're balancing all of your experiences on the outside with the experiences that you are creating on the inside. It's not a sense of balance. It's a sense of realization. It's realization. It's about start looking at what you are creating. Pay attention to what you are calling to yourself. That's how you're going to know. So it's a realization, Kathleen, not necessarily a balance, because if you, for one reason, remember, the conscious can only hold so much. It can only hold so much. When it gets full, it just it dissipates. It goes, the energy doesn't leave or gets destroyed, but it goes somewhere else. But where is it always contained?
The unconscious.
Right. So there's not necessarily a balance, you see, because see, here's the unconscious holding a few things. And here's the unconscious underneath holding everything. So it's not about balance. It's about realization. And how do you deal with realization? Realization, as we just said, is looking at who and what you are attracting to yourself. But I'm going to say something about that. That is, people have created the concept of the law of attraction. But before you can attract something to you, you must create it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be witnessing, by way of this attraction, what you have created.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sometimes you can have health challenges, and you've talked about health challenges on the podcast. And the health challenges, each health challenges tells you where or what the unconscious is holding. That's how you know. Or maybe you attracted a wonderful person in your life and you thought the person was wonderful, and then you married the person, you lived with them for 2 years, and then you say to yourself, oh God, I made a mistake. You see. So it's then what do you do? Because the person who was so loving and bringing you the candy and bringing you the roses and taking you to the show, taking you out to a restaurant, now is showing you the personality of being a tyrant. In other words, you cannot go out. I don't want you to go out. You cannot go out. You can't go to school. You have to stay home and take care of the house. You can't go to work. You see, it becomes, and the roles can be reversed. I'm not saying all that about men. Women can do the same thing. You see, so it's not a balance. It's a realization. You got to look That's the issue. Look at what you are creating in your life. That will tell you where you are.
Realm, I have a question about what you just demonstrated for us. If you attracted this person to you who you thought was wonderful and the first 2 years are wonderful, why would it suddenly turn sour?
Because there's a thing inside of yourself. Aha, Carol. Now we get create, support, create.
So
now
you're
going to have the opportunity to learn that you don't love yourself. Because here's this other human being that is starting to treat you in a way that you don't want to be treated. And you had no inkling in the beginning at the conscious level that this is what it was going to turn out to be like. So what do? So you see, that's why it's internal. You have to turn inside and say, why is this person treating me this way? Don't look at the person. You see, this quote that we have given is stressing internal, not external. Look inside yourselves and say, how? What's going on with me that this man has insulted me? What is going on within me? But see, most people, where do they go? They blame the man. They said, you did this to me. It's not about the person doing anything to you. It's about what did you create? How were you thinking? Where are your thoughts? Where are your emotions that this person is showing you that?
Well, then my question, Realm, is how do we watch our thoughts when working on our inner being to not create what we don't want to experience or to create?
There's one thing about that, Kathleen, and that's an excellent question, is that you as individuals start to pay attention to yourself. You see, because as being human, part of that human thing is that you always think of the people outside of you. You know, how are they going? Sometimes you're looking at how are they going to perceive me if I say this? So I'm not going to say it. I'm going to hold it inside. You see, you're looking outward. But you have to, when you're inward, you're reflecting inward. That means you're going to pay attention to what comes out of your mouth. You know, it's like, we'll give an example of people experiencing a cold, sniveling and snorting and snotting. It's one of those types of colds.
Sounds like a commercial for medicine.
Oh, thank you. And so when you go, you look at the person, you say, oh, you don't look well. And they say, what's wrong? What is the person going to say? I have a cold.
They claim it.
They claimed it.
And they got the support for it by someone telling them, you don't look good.
Absolutely.
You look sick, so you must be sick.
Right. And not only
you're the one that created it.
That person, absolutely. That person created for that individual to inquire about their health and to inquire to support the low vibration of the cold experience. You see. So it's watching what you say. It could be that a person is on a job and they're just talking to a friend and they automatically say, you know, I don't like this job I'm on. Now, what can you imagine if you say, I don't like this job that I'm on? It can reverberate to so many things. And one of the reverberations is that you could create to be fired because you don't like it. See, so how do you handle that? You handle it by saying, because you're creating the experiences that support you in not liking it. So you want to change your way of thinking. You know, you can say a QDR, quick displace replace, that the audience has learned. I am experiencing releasing all emotions and thoughts that support me in creating and maintaining not liking my job. You know, some people don't like other people. Some people, when you really look at, oh, I don't like that woman. You don't like that woman. Why don't you like her? You know, because then when you go deep inside yourself to discover why you don't like her, you're going to go deep inside of yourself, and you'll come to the understanding, I don't like her because she reminds me of my sister that I didn't.
Well, how about of yourself? Could it be something in yourself that you don't like?
It's going to remind you, she's going to remind you of something that you created internally that's being held by the unconscious.
Right.
You see, but at the conscious level, you don't recognize that you don't like the woman because she reminds you of your sister. It's not until you go inside yourself and ask yourself the question, why is it that I don't like her? And don't search the answer by way of paying attention to her, but by way of going inside yourself. That way you'll find that, oh, she reminds me of my sister that I had a challenge getting along with.
So, Realm, are you saying, or let me rephrase this question, are you saying that our inner being is being influenced, and who influences our inner being and why?
Your inner being is the force itself. So the force has set up to experience all kinds of interesting things through each thing that it has created. It has an experience with a blade of grass. So, but in terms of us, it's experiencing our challenges that we create for ourselves. See, at the internal level, we know our lessons. We know what we're supposed to learn. We know that. That's deep down in our guts. If you want to know what lesson you were given to learn, you gave yourself to learn, because you're the force. The force gives you the lesson, and you're the force, so you gave it to yourself. Then you can begin to say, well, how? You see, we create the how we're going to learn the lesson. Some people have taken on the lesson to experience abandonment. And what do they create? They may create a family member, a mother or a father, to abandon them when they're children, because that's the lesson to experience. See, each lesson is an experience. It is an experience, but it's up to you as individuals to decide how you want to deal with that.
Realm, if you recognize your lesson and you think you've learned it, and then you end up that you're looping, which means you haven't learned the lesson, how do you get to a point where you recognize the lesson and you can learn it for good, let's say? I don't know a better way to phrase that.
That's all right, because you want to get rid of the doggone thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So the thing is that once you see it, but see, most people don't see it. That is why we're talking about this quote. We want people to awaken into themselves, not to awaken externally. You know, some people say, well, I am very spiritual being. All right, whoop-de-doo. I am a fifth dimensional being. I'm high vibrational. We just say whoop-de-doo to that too, because it doesn't matter, because everybody's got lessons. And some of the lessons are low vibrational. What you want to concentrate on is not worrying if you're a high vibrational, low vibrational. I'm going to the fifth dimension and you have to stay down here because you're a lowly being. You're not as high as I am in the understanding. You see.
I call it a cosmic caste system.
Absolutely.
That's a good one, Kathy.
Absolutely. I like that, Kathleen. Cosmic caste system. Absolutely. Because you look outside, but you got to look internal. Like, I don't like that person because they practice the Islamic religion. Don't look at the external things for that. Go internally into yourself and say, why don't I like this person? You see, when you've had no experience with the person, you just go with a collective consciousness.
Isn't that just judgment and reinforcing separation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. People sit around and pray. They pray for peace, yet they turn around and hate each other.
That's the truth.
Because they do. They hate each other. They said those people. Notice I said those people. But what is not understood, it's the very ones that you're talking about that are those people you are one with.
Yourself.
Yep.
You see.
I have a question.
Can you say that? Because those people, you begin to look externally at everything that's being shown. But when you go in to see peace, love, unconditional love is what we're teaching here right now. It's all internal, you see. If you want peace, it's good that people want to pray for peace, and they do it all around the world. They coordinate it according to the humanoid concept of time, so that everybody is simultaneously doing that. That's wonderful. But the peace is not external. What we're trying to say, in order to find peace externally, in order to create that as a collective externally, you must first love yourself.
Right. Start within.
You have to do that. You have to look and see the beauty within yourself. Some people are getting kind of hefty with their bodies. And what do they say? Oh, I don't like the way my body looks. You see, that's a thought.
Yes, it is.
So you want to stop saying that thought. I don't like my body. It's getting hefty. Or I have pouches on various parts. You know, look at you. You must see the beauty within yourself. You must learn to love yourself unconditionally, internally. Because when you have this love of self, then it goes out and reaches, because it's energy.
Right.
If you're thinking you're a terrible person or you're thinking you don't look good, then that's the energy you're putting out there. If you're saying, I don't like that person because they're pink and I'm purple. I don't like that person because that person is pink and I'm purple. What are you putting out there? You're putting out, showing that you don't love yourself. Because before you cannot love somebody else, when you say, I don't like that person, I don't love, then you want to turn internally and say to yourself, what is it about me that I do not like?
Maybe the fact that I recognized what I don't like in that other person.
Absolutely.
I have another question. We're talking about an inner being. And one question that came to me, might be a little silly, is my realm of beings an inner being and my guides and ascended masters?
You're one with everything. See, you're seeing them as separate from you.
Separate.
They are not. They are not separate from you. Those of you who say you have angels,
that's why I brought it up,
help you and speak to you and everything. Yes, you can have those. We're not saying that you don't. But the point is to realize that the very thing that you say you have, you are one with. There is no separation between you and those angels. Like there's no separation between us and Greta. Greta is us and we are Greta. And then we can expand it to, there's Moxie. Hey, hi, Moxie. She's our producer for today. We are one with Moxie as Moxie is one with us.
Now, we like Moxie. Does that mean we like ourselves?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you like Moxie and you like her personality, you like how she is, how she moves with you, guess what? Number one, you created for her to move like that with you because she's giving you support. Number two, you are viewing her through your own internal eyes. You are viewing her through your own internal experience, you see, that you're holding.
Thank you, Moxie, for your support.
She's glowing. I can feel her glowing realm.
No.
She has a Kool-Aid smile from ear to ear.
There you go.
As long as she doesn't crash any walls down.
Oh, she just sent us a text message. You're welcome. 3 minutes till the end. Oh, okay, Carol. She better have my readers.
Before, I could have told you, Kathy, before we exit this wonderful, lively discussion we've had, I'm telling you, this is getting better every week. We'd like to let our listeners know, and especially if you're in the East Coast of the United States, Gretta, Kathleen, and myself, and of course the Realm of Beings, because they travel with Gretta, will be at the New York Bar Historic Building for New Life Expo, which is in New York, 44th Street, and it's October 19th and 20th. And I know our listeners have heard us talk about these expos before. The turnouts are wonderful. We strongly recommend you go to the New Expo Life website and check it out. Try to get your ticket early because
register for outlets.
Backed up. I mean, they line people who have other booths get in line to come see Gretta. So
I'll testify to that.
Very exciting, yeah. So we'd like to remind everybody to please, and we'd like to meet our listeners in person anyway. And you get to see that we really look the way we do.
And Carol, I want to say that the realm travels with us because we are all one.
Right. You're absolutely
forgot.
Right.
And so next, enjoy the 4th. My birthday is the 14th, so I'll take any monetary gifts you want to send. We're on the following week, on the 12th of July, we're going to grab those reins and live without stress. Yes. No stress. No stress. That's what we're going to be doing. Everything's on the inner self this month.
Wonderful.
Woo! Greta, can you come back?
Oh, sure.
There she is. Well, listeners, we'd like to thank you again for joining us. As usual, we thank Transformation Network for helping us get across the message to everyone. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Greta. Thank you, Realm of Beings. And of course, listeners, thank you until we create each other again.
Once again, thanks for joining us at Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As you have explored today's creation of reality experience with the realm and me, Greta, each of you is being supported by us in further developing the understanding that you are not just an individual existing in linear time and space, but a multi-dimensional force of infinite possibilities who is connected to all. So begin to create the realities you want. Join us every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Shifting Impressions at TransformationTalkRadio.com. So long until we create each other again next Friday.